Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Jason.
And we are Yahoo on the Torah YouTube channel, and this is the Letters of Paul.
And we thank you guys very, very much for joining us. We are very diligently going through the letters of Brother Shaul, trying to find out what is doctrine and what is not. And before everybody is shocked when we say that things of Brother Shaul's are not doctrine, then we must be very aware of what Deuteronomy 4:2 says. Deuteronomy 4:2 is very, very clear. And it says we are not to add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may guard the commandments of Yahuwah Elohim, which I command you. So we are in this, and we are going through the books, and I guess just what is a consensus? Inside of 1 Timothy and Titus, the first two books of Brother Paul's epistles, it adds to the Torah. It adds to it in ways that we've never ever seen before. One of the ways is it qualifies a widow to be 60 years old. Brother Shaul says a widow is not a widow unless she's 60 years old. Now, we don't have anything like that in the Torah. We know that we're supposed to help the widows. We're supposed to help the fatherless. We're supposed to help those that are broken. And we've never heard of an age restriction upon widows. And he also goes off and he tells women that they need to learn in silence and that they should not speak. And again, those are things outside of the Torah. So as we go through the books of Brother Shaul, we have those two books right out of the gate we've identified as being books that are they should not be added to doctrine. They add to the word of our Creator. It breaks the Torah by what they say. And then we went through 1 Thessalonians and 2 Thessalonians. What's our consensus there, gentlemen?
Thessalonians, I think, was all right. It was all right.
Yeah, it was.
It's good, but it's not doctrine.
It's not doctrine. Yeah, it was good. It's not doctrine.
It's just a letter. It's written to someone. You're not going to take someone's letter that you've picked up off the street and say, well, I'm going to live my life by this letter. It's not going to work like that.
Yeah, and when we're talking about doctrine, doctrine is your Torah. There's no other doctrine of what you should have, but you should have a firm base of the Torah, and that is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
Here's how you should see Paul as a pastor of Yahuwah. He was a pastor going around that gave his letters, and that somehow his letters were leaked across to everyone else. They were given away to everyone else, apparently. And that was not how it was to be. He was helping out certain places. He was going around being a missionary, doing things, sending letters, seeing how they were doing. And if that was someone in real life, if you found a pastor's letters, you're not going to put it in a book and say, here's how we're going to live our lives, here's our gospel.
Yeah, and the reason that we are doing what we are doing is because it is unfortunate, but the letters of Brother Shaul have put billions of people into hell. They have literally put people into hell because as a group, as the Yahoo and the Torah channel, what we do every single day is we take people's angry questions and angry comments and we read them, and it's usually about people that are upset about us keeping the commandments of our Creator. They believe that Brother Shaul said that we should not keep the commandments. They believe that Brother Shaul has another doctrine, and they have chosen to follow Brother Shaul's doctrine, and it is a mistake when you do that, because if you are taking what he says and using it for evil and you have abolished the law and you don't think the law pertains to you, then that's very evil. And that's what Hasatan wants. He wants there to be a lot of confusion, and there is definitely a lot of confusion. All right, gentlemen, so how are we doing?
Good.
All right, so let us begin here. We are in 1 Corinthians. Somehow I ended up here. No, 1 Corinthians 5, and I will do my handy-dandy little split screen.
All right, so where we ended off last time in Corinthians, we had a bit of, seemed like infighting between the Corinthians, the groups that were of Yahuwah. They were saying that one group was Apollos, one was of Paul, one was of another denomination. They were all kind of duking it out over a certain groups when Paul was just like, I'm not your God, Apollos isn't your God, you should be following under Yahuwah, and you should say you are of Yahushua HaMashiach. You should not say you're of either one of us.
Yeah, and that is something people should understand. Paul does not want to be your God. If you are taking his words and you are making his words doctrine and you are not using the Torah as doctrine, then that's evil. And Brother Shaul would not want that to be done. Okay, so let's figure out what's going on in the church of Corinth, and we will begin. First one. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much as named among the other nations, that one should have his father's woman. Okay, what do we know about having your father's woman right out of the gate?
That's crazy that he's even writing to them like this. That,
well, what do we know about having your father?
That's a sin.
That's against the Torah.
Yeah, he's like, what are you guys doing? He's like, even the Gentiles don't do this. What are you guys doing?
Right. Okay. Verse 2. And ye are puffed up, and have not rather mourned, that he that has done this deed might be taken away from among you.
See, this is how we know it's not to us. Nobody here should be committing those sins. Nobody is committing those sins, and someone in Corinth committed this sin. He's like, "What are you guys doing? You guys are let this dude around? This is crazy."
Not even the pagans, not even the Gentiles do it. And if you guys think that being a Gentile is a good thing, it's not.
Gentiles are evil people, right? They are against Torah. They are against Yah, and he said even the people that are against Yah aren't even to do these things that you just did.
Yeah, and so if you guys think of yourselves as the house of Gentile, read Hebrews 8. There is no house of Gentile that's ever saved. Very, very important part. Okay, 3. For I truly, as absent in body, but present in the Ruach, have judged already, as though I were present, concerning him that has done this deed. In the name of our Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach, when ye are gathered together, and my Ruach, with the power of our Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, he
just said that he didn't have to be there to judge the circumstances. He's like, I already know what to do. There needs to be nothing else. Since this dude was caught doing this, he needs to be dealt with. He's like, there's no need for anything else. Just do it.
Yeah, and then he continues on. To deliver such one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the Ruach may be saved in the day of Adonai Yahusha.
Yeah, it's basically, I don't know if deliver him to Satan means stone him and just send him to Satan, or what that means, but he should have been stoned. Back in those days, he definitely should have been stoned.
Yeah, absolutely. Should have been drug outside the city gates.
So that they can be saved in the day of Adonai Yahusha, which means that back in the day, if you didn't stone someone that committed this, Yahuwah would start cursing the people until you got rid of the problem. We see it in Joshua, where the man kept the gold, and until Yah kept smiting them against their enemies, they all ended up dying, and Joshua didn't understand why. He's like, why is happening? He goes, you see, one of your servants here actually took the gold where I told not to, and that's why you're getting cursed. So one curse from one group can destroy the entire people. It can destroy them, and you have to deal with it. And this guy should have been stoned so that the rest of the people did not get cursed.
But at the same time, they were not in Yisrael, right? Where were they at, Eli? Where's Corinth at?
I believe this one was
Northern Greece?
Yeah.
Somewhere in Greece somewhere.
I think it was actually southern Greece.
Southern Greece, somewhere in Greece. And so these people are not Yashraelis. They're not the people of Yah. And so they wouldn't probably take these people outside the city gates. But the fact that these people are in this church, and he's like, well, even the people, the other nations don't do this kind of evil. What's that really saying? Okay. 6. Your glorifying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leavens the whole lump?
He says the entire one sin will commit, and everything else is sin. It will bring everything else in. Doesn't matter how small sin is. The rest of the group still sins.
Absolutely. Purge out therefore the old leaven, for that ye may be a new lump, as ye are matzah. For even Mashiach, our Pesach, is sacrificed for us.
So yeah, Yahushua was our offered lamb, and he's saying that as bread, we need to be new loaves. When we go to Yahusha, we throw away our old wickedness. We throw away all the wickedness we've done, and we start as new beings in Yahusha.
Yeah. Therefore, let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the matzah of sincerity and truth.
I mean, even here, it's obvious that the law was not done away with. He's on the Corinth. He said, well, observe the festival. If you're not observing the festival, you're not in Torah. He's literally just quoted from the Torah saying, observe the festival.
Yeah, and then you'll have the Christian religion that does not keep any feasts. They keep Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, all the kind of pagan holidays that are not scriptural.
There's obviously backup to this as well, because he talked about the unleavened bread, he talked about Passover. He wasn't talking about Christmas for a festival. He's saying follow Pesach.
Yep. I wrote unto you in a sefer, not to company with fornicators, yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for then must ye needs go out of the world. Okay, what's he saying here, boys?
Basically, he gave them a letter before and told them not to hang around these people who are doing fornication, and they should be away from them. They should get rid of these people, but they are still here with them. Another quote from the Torah, which is don't go around with multitudes of evil.
Yeah, and yet here is again, he's talking about another sefer. We don't know of another sefer.
It wasn't written to us.
It
Why
wasn't
don't we
written to
have
us.
this as well? If you're taking this to Doctrine, we need the rest of his letters. We should be seeking out his letters if we can see his Doctrine.
Be seeking both sides of the letters. What did these people write to him? Because a lot of this would make a lot of sense.
It should be more as read as a story of Paul's here. This is what should be read as a story in the Bible. Is this what really happened? You can see that there was a lot of struggling here, and that he was trying to deal with this group of people that was honestly probably the most evil we've read of in the entire groups of Paul.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, 11. But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner. With such one do not eat. Okay, is this breaking Torah at all?
No.
Why?
This is
What
what
Torah
you're-
command do we have?
Don't get rid of the evil.
Yes,
Master
stay
sin.
away from
Don't
the
go
other
with
nations.
Don't go with multitudes of evil. Don't walk in the ways of the nations.
Yeah, there's a lot. Thank you. 12. For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do not ye judge them that are within? But them that are without Elohim judges. Therefore put away from among yourselves that wicked person. It sounds like one dude, one guy
It
that's
sounds like
doing
they
this.
had one dude in the group that was probably well known for this to be a big problem.
Yeah.
Was that he was obviously a big name in the group.
And it was obviously open enough that they knew all the dirty secrets
And
of these
apparently,
guys.
back if we look back, he said your boasting is not good. Right after he said throw that one away, they're obviously still thinking they're super holy or they're super great congregation even after letting this dude in. And Paul's like, "What is wrong with you guys? You guys are like messed up in the head, thinking this is great."
And you hang around those kind of people, and that's what you will end up with, is that kind of people. All right, 1 Corinthians 6. Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to law before the unjust, and not before the Kadeshim? Okay, so what is he saying here?
He basically saying, why are you going to a unrighteous judge, unrighteous government? Why would you not want to go into your own congregation that knows Yahushua? Why would you not want to deal with this inside of your thing? Why are you going to go to, if you have a problem with one another, why are you going to go to a court that is not even of Yah?
Yeah, don't take them to court. And the Kadeshim are, we have a way that we're supposed to judge people at the hand of 2 or 3 witnesses.
Which was ran before the priests, which were holy people.
Yep, it's supposed to be.
But they had no priest. The thing was, Corinth had no priest, so the best they could do was they could deal with it inside their own group of people. They knew the Torah, obviously. Paul had obviously spent enough time with them to be telling them that they're going to hell for what they just did, that they need to stone this guy and get rid of this dude. He knew that. They obviously knew the Torah, so he's telling them that they know enough, they can deal with this dude themselves.
Yeah. Do ye not know that the Kadeshim shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters? It's essentially he's going over why to judge, right? He's like, you guys can do this, right? Don't you understand that in the end times it'll be the Kadeshim that can judge the angels as well. And so it's very important that we're not going to be judges unless we know the Torah, right? Our Creator is never going to allow anybody that does not know the Torah to judge people. You would judge unrighteously. Okay, verse 3. Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? Okay, so he just talked about the angels. Sorry, there's a little disruption there. Okay, verse 4. If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed of the called out assembly. Okay, Jay, do you have anything on this?
So basically, the ones who are least esteemed would be people that are the not popular. He's like people that are quiet, the people that are meek. He's like have them judge because they know what to do. They are the people that can judge what's righteous and what's not, because if you have people that are of high authority, they are going to be blinded by the people that look up to them, right? They're going to try and appease the people to still stay in their positions. But if you have someone that is not even of any position, they're going to be unbiased no matter what. They're not going to care what anyone has to say when they make their judgment.
Right. Okay, verse 5. I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? No, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren?
So he's saying he's there to shame them for this because they have to have a meek one because they're all so unholy that they will all judge unrighteously.
Yeah, and they don't have the courage to toss out evil. And that's what you got to have the courage to get rid of this. But brother goes to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers. Verse 6 here. But instead, one brother takes another to court, and this in front of unbelievers, right?
Yeah. So it basically takes them to a place where there's no righteous judge, and they don't understand
And they're not
the law.
going to judge you based upon the Torah.
They'll judge you based on their own laws, their own things.
They probably won't care because it's not a sin in their eyes. Probably, okay, fine.
And these guys would be judged under Greece law. Whatever it was in the Greek culture is how it would be. Okay, 7. Now therefore, there is utterly a fault among you. Because ye go to law one with another, why do you not rather take wrong? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded?
So he said, why would you rather not just take the problem, move on with it yourself? Why would you have to cause more problems and take your brother to court? If you have a problem with him, why wouldn't you just turn the other cheek, basically?
Yeah. Verse 8, nay, ye do wrong and defraud, and that your brother. So in the NIV, it sounds a little better. Instead, you yourselves cheat and do wrong, and you do this to your brothers and sisters. Okay? Anyone else have anything?
He's just saying that these people are cheating their own brothers, they're hurting their brothers, they're doing wrong to them, and then they take them to court of unrighteous people. They take them to court with people that don't even know who Yahuwah is. They probably don't even know his name because they're in Greece. They probably go with one of the Greek gods, right?
Or something.
They judge him with the lady with the two scales. That's all their religion. That's all their religion.
Yep. 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim? Be not deceived. Neither fornicators, nor adulterers, nor sodomium, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Elohim. So, guys, is Paul getting rid of the law?
No, he honestly is reinforcing laws. All these things here are no one gets in. Adulterers, idolaters, effeminate, homosexuals, thieves, or those greedy of gain, drunkards, revilers, swindlers. None of those will inherit the kingdom of Elohim. Those are the people of the Torah. Those are not the people of the Torah. They're the people against the Torah.
Right. Jade, what do you have?
He pretty much got what I had.
Okay. 11. And such were some of you, but ye are washed, but ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach and by Ruach of our Elohim.
So these dudes were just forgiven for their sins, basically. They had changed from their old ways and then became children of Yahuwah.
Of Yahuwah, right. Okay, 12. All things are powerful unto me, but all things are not profitable. All things are powerful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Food for the belly, and the belly for food. But Elohim shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for Yahuwah, and Yahuwah for the body. What you guys got?
So, he says all is permitted me, but not all, everything is for profit. He says he's allowed to do things, but it doesn't bring profit. He can do what he wants, but it's not going to bring any good. It's not going to bring anything good to him. It's only going to bring bad things. Like the food is for the stomach. He's like the food and the stomach for food. He goes, but your body is not meant to go whoring. We're still back on the problem where this dude went on doing what he did in the fornication. He's still back on that problem saying you're not supposed to go whoring. You're not supposed to defile your body. You can do what you want. You can do that, but it's not going to bring you salvation in the end. It's going to bring you curses. It's going to bring you troubles.
Yeah, NIV has something a little different on 12. It's a little bit interesting. Let's read that. And it's in quotes what he says. He says, I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, again in quotes, but I will not be mastered by anything.
So basically, these people say they can do whatever they want. It's just a regular.
Sounds like the Christians.
It's a regular Christian. I can do what I want. I will not be under a law. But it's not profitable. He says it's not profitable. When it's not profitable, he's talking about the kingdom. He's not talking about you're not going to get money off doing what you want. No, he's saying that you're not going to make it to the kingdom. It's not beneficial to your soul. It probably destroys your soul even more. It doesn't matter how free you think you are, how good you think you are. You're only going to be enslaved in hell when you wake up after death.
Yeah, and even in the NIV, I hate to say it, this is the best translation so far on this. It says, you say, again in quotes, food for the stomach and the stomach for food. That's what the Christians say. And God will destroy them both. The body, however, is not meant for sexual immortality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. So that's where the Christians would say, all food has been made clean. They can eat what they want. Slay and eat, Peter. It's all good. And
Paul obviously is dealing with this problem. These people were obviously eating their unclean foods, and Paul just came in and shut that down.
Sounds like the Corinthians have
when you
Christians.
Because mine didn't even have any quote. Hey.
Hold on. And 1 second, guys. This is just the way it is here in our house. We got to get this under control, and we will. And there's just going to be some grumbly dogs. That's the way it is. We have 10 pit bulls, unleashed, unkennelled, and they live and dwell with us just like humans, and they don't quite act like humans. A little loud. Okay, so yeah, this is what the Christians say, right? I can eat what I want to eat. I can do what I want to do, and yada yada, and that's the way it is. Okay. Hold on, guys. We might have to pause this if I can't get these guys to calm down just a little bit. Eli's spraying them. Nicole's trying to beat them. We'll see if this makes it. Okay, 14. And Elohim has both raised up Adonai, and will also raise up us by his own power. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Mashiach? Shall I then take the members of Mashiach and make them the members of a harlot? Never. Okay.
So basically your bodies are supposed to be for Yahuwah.
Yeah, it is supposed to be for Yahuwah. And we know this because that is a commandment, right? The temple. We need to preserve our temple. We went over that this morning. What is the commandment?
Don't defile your temple.
Yeah, don't defile your temple.
This goes back to where he spoke in the beginning of the book, where he's like, look, every member does different things in the body. We're all part of the body, and every one of us needs to do something to bring forth the kingdom with our own abilities, with our own talents, with our own abilities. And he's like, that's what the members of the body are supposed to do. And he's like, if you're the member of Yahusha, if you're part of the body of Messiah, with Messiah being the center of your heart, which should be a member of the thing, if you go off and you become a whore, you're making the rest of the body of Mashiach a whore. And he said, that's what you don't want to be. He said, let it not be. Don't become that you have to cut off and throw into the fire, because it's better to enter the kingdom without a hand or without an eye or something like
good.
that.
Beautiful. Okay, what know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? For two, says he, shall be one flesh.
So basically, that basically breaks the Trinity right there.
No.
I would say, because everyone says it's all one, but basically two people, like when a woman and a husband and wife, if they're joined to one.
I do see your point on that. That is not his point, I do not think.
No, but that's...
Yes, and so that's essentially saying when a man and a woman cleave together, they are one, and you're with the body of a prostitute, right? You're an unclean woman, and you have become an adulterer. You've just destroyed yourself. Okay, 17. But he that is joined unto Yahuwah is Yaked.
Yours says Yahuwah, mine said the Adon.
Okay, so this is more horrible translations by Dr. Stephen Pidgeon. I'll save that. Yeah, so we're looking for bad translations as well. The bottom thing is the Sephron, and I would not spend your hard-earned cash on that by any means. It's become a terrible translation over the years. Okay, so what is he saying there? But whoever's united in the Lord, and that's the crop. There's three versions of this scriptures right here. All three of them have the exact wrong translation. Lord is all uppercase, Lord, capital L. Yeah, and it should not be that. And so Lord actually translates to Baal in Hebrew if you don't do it right.
So he's basically saying those who follow the Torah are joined to Yahushua.
Yeah. So, but that is joined unto Yahusha. Yahushua is one. Flee fornication, 18. Every sin that a man does is without the body. But he that commits fornication sins against his own body.
So he says that every sin that a man does is outside the body, but when he commits whoring, he sins against his own body. So basically, whoring is one that you can't change. It's inside. That sin is inside you forever. You can get rid of lying. You can get rid of stealing. You can do all that can be dealt with outside the body. But once you've done whoring, once you've defiled yourself, you'll
be
always
an adulterer.
have that sin.
Regardless, the whore is out of adultery. She may not be married, but regardless, you are having improper relationships out of wedlock, and it destroys you. It is not what you want. Verse 19. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Ruach HaKodesh, which is in you, which ye have of Elohim, and ye are not your own? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify Elohim in your body and in your Ruach, which are Elohim's. So this would go in the same thing as pig, right? You're sitting there eating pig. You're defiling your body because you're taking unclean food and you're eating that. And so it would be the same kind of thing. You're committing fornication with a pig in some way. I mean, it's not, and that's not the best analogy, but essentially you have unclean. You're becoming disgusting, is what you're doing. So, anything else on that?
No, he's just saying that your bodies are supposed to be holy. You are a temple. He said before that your body was a temple. In his books previously, he said your body is a temple. And back in the day, they would have never brought a pig into the temple, and you should never bring a pig into your temple.
Yeah, absolutely not. They're very good. Okay, 1 Corinthians 7:1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Okay, good. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own woman, and let every woman have her own man.
That's excellent.
Sounds good. Let the man render unto the woman due benevolence, and likewise also the woman unto the man.
All right, let me read that in mine. Let the husband render to his wife what is her due, and then likewise also to the wife to her husband.
The woman has not power of her own body, but the man. And likewise also the man has not power of his own body, but the woman. Okay, what's the NIV say? The wife does not have authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over to his own body, but yields it to the wife.
It's basically the way they're joined in one flesh, right? You don't want them going off and whoring with another person. They own, once you are married, you own each other, basically.
Yeah, you have a responsibility to be faithful. And if you are unfaithful, you're going to destroy everything. You destroy trust, you destroy your bond, you destroy absolutely everything. But yeah, he's exactly right on here. When you are married, your wife owns your body, and you own your wife's body. That's the way it is.
And it's great for examples, but this definitely was not for us. This was a specific letter to these guys that had this sin.
Yeah, and maybe it is. Maybe you are living an adulterous life, and maybe you are being evil. Maybe you're defiling your temple in evil ways. Maybe you're eating pig. So this could be for you if you have eyes to see and ears to hear. Verse 5, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency. Oh, incontinency.
Lack of self-control.
Yeah, lack of
Do not deprive one another except with an agreement for a time, to give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again so that Satan does not try you because of your lack of self-control.
I don't know what he's exactly
I think he's
saying
saying that you need to fast, you need to pray so that you guys can get a hold of yourselves. Basically, he's saying that you guys obviously aren't working out together, but they're all duking it out and everything. He's like, you guys don't have control. There's always fornication. You guys need to go fast for a while and then come back together so that Satan does not separate you and sift you.
Yeah, it is weird though. It's like in the NIV, it's like, do not deprive each other except perhaps by mutual consent. So I don't know.
Mine has
the
a
other
comma, and then go to give yourselves to fasting and prayer.
Essentially, it'd be
Do
like,
not I think deprive each other of food. I think it just takes the food away from.
all right, you want to defraud me? Fine. You defraud me, I'll defraud you.
I think throw each other's food away is where you get. I think he's just trying to say you guys need to get some self-control here, and you guys need to stop doing what you're doing.
Right. Okay, verse 6. But I speak this by permission and not of commandment. For I would that all men even were as I myself, but every man has his proper gift of Elohim, one after this manner, and another after that.
Keep reading and
Okay.
figure out what it is.
I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn.
So
Okay.
basically, he's saying that it's better to stay unmarried because that is the pure people. That is the people that the 144 are the people that are unmarried, that have never touched a woman, that have never defiled themselves with a woman. He said it's better, but if you cannot control yourself, if you have to absolutely get married, he said get married. There's nothing wrong with it. He says that's your gift. That's a gift from Yah, is to get married. He's like, just get married. It's better for you to marry than to commit fornication and yourself burn. Your soul burns in Gehenna.
Yeah, and they're also talking like the burn being passion. And when the passion of a woman will lead a man insane, as well as the same way for a man to woman. It's wild. Okay. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but Yahuwah, let not the woman depart from her man.
This is the Adon. This is the Adon, not Yahuwah.
We will mark this for another day.
Yeah, the Adon. A wife should not separate from her husband. That is what Yahushua said as well.
Yep. And if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her man, and let not the man put away his woman. Okay. What do we know of this? Is he adding or taking away to the Torah right here?
No, he just says that. Here, I'll read it mine. But if she is indeed separated, let her remain unmarried or be restored to favor with her husband, and let her husband not send away a wife. So basically, he's just trying to keep the marriage together. He's trying to keep families together as it should be, because he says if you're separated, he's like, don't go get married again. Or you can regain favor and you guys can stay married.
Yeah, but it's essentially, I mean, this is a splitting of what they call splitting of the sheets, where your marriage is on the rocks or something, and basically he put her away, and she left, and but she's supposed to remain unmarried. Why is she supposed to remain unmarried, everyone?
Because if not, she commits fornication.
She becomes an adulterer. Okay. Okay, 12. But to the rest speak I, not Yahuwah. Did he get this wrong or right? What's it say?
Yeah, not the Adon.
Yeah, he got this wrong again.
No, I'm trying to get it so wrong.
I don't know. That's what happens when you start charging money for Bibles. Okay. But to the rest I speak, not Adon, which is Messiah Yahushua, is who they're actually supposed to be speaking of. If any brother has a woman that believes not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. Okay, what does that say?
So basically, if she doesn't believe but she wants to live with him, don't put her away. You probably teach her and bring her into the faith.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of kindness, a little bit of love, and they will seek Yah as well. Okay, 13. And the woman which has a man that believes not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving man is sanctified by the woman, and the unbelieving woman is sanctified by the man. Else were your children unclean, but how are they holy? Anyone?
But now, mine says, but now they are Kodesh.
So basically...
now they are holy. Sorry, not how. But now they are holy.
Mine doesn't have a question there.
But now they are holy. It's a period. Okay? What do we have? Anyone on this?
So basically, it's the children still have a chance of salvation, I think is what he's saying, because at least one of them is in Torah, one of them is in the faith, so that they can be taught, the children can be taught the right way, and then basically it's up to their when they're old enough to choose the right way. But also the husband can figure out along the way as well that Torah is the right way to go, or that he needs to call on the name of Yahushua HaMashiach.
Right. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or sister is not in bondage in such cases, but Elohim has called us to peace. So if the unbeliever departs, let him depart.
Let him depart. Yeah, you're not enslaved to such matters.
But you would still be an adulteress if you had another relationship, if you remarry, right? So either or, if your husband is so bad and he's an unbeliever and he leaves, let him depart. But if you get another marriage, or if he's not dead, you will end up as an adulterer if you end up with another relationship. Okay, 16. For what know you, O woman, whether you shall save your man? Or how know you, O man, whether you shall save your woman? Right?
Yeah, that's a question.
So basically he said, how do you know you're going to save, how do you know if you can save them? How do you know you're going to?
Yeah, and you never know. But as Elohim has distributed to every man, as Yahuwah has called every one.
Yadon.
Did it again. Yeah, so this is not he would basically this translation right here would say, but as Elohim has distributed to every man, as Elohim has called every one. Messiah Yahusha, the Adon, the master, the one. Okay. Let me reread that. But as Elohim has distributed to every man, as the Adon has called every one, so let him walk, and so ordain I of all the called out assemblies. Okay, anyone have anything on that? What's he saying?
He's just saying that Elohim has distributed to each one. Elohim has chosen them for a reason, put people together for a reason.
Yeah, and this is in the NIV. It goes to churches. The called out assemblies are churches.
And that's wrong. They were assemblies. They were little groups of people, or some of them were larger. Obviously, Corinth was larger to have these sort of problems. But they were just little groups here and there that believed, and they were all trying to help each other grow.
Yeah, this gets kind of hard to understand here. Is any man called being circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Is any called in uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of Elohim.
So obviously we have the same problem of circumcision, which is what we have again when he's like, circumcision is not going to do you anything, but you need to be keeping the commands of Yahuwah.
And is circumcision a command of Yahuwah?
Yes.
Right. We're supposed to circumcise our children on the 8th day.
I thought more of it was like a metaphor. He's talking about like if somebody has changed, basically circumcised themselves, they have become a person in Torah. You don't let them go out of Torah.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're circumcised inside of the Torah and you fall away from that Torah, then your circumcision is useless. It
means nothing. It's not.
Yeah. Okay, 20. Let every man abide in the same calling wherein he was called. Are you called being a servant? Care not for it. But if you may be made free, use it rather. Okay, that's
so
tough.
basically
What's
says do what you're good at, do what you're called to do.
20. So 20 says each person should remain in the situation they were in when God called them. Were you a slave when you were called? Don't let it trouble you. Although if you can gain your freedom, do so. So he's talking about different stuff. That's why it doesn't make any sense. We're not slaves, so we didn't understand this.
There's probably a whole letters, and this was another point that he made.
Okay. For he that is called in Yahuwah, being
Adon.
Wow, this guy's
Adon
slaughtered this.
Adon twice in this.
He just did a search and replace, and he destroyed this. I have a lot of videos to make. For he that is called in the Adon, being a servant in Yahuwah's freeman.
Adon.
Again?
Yep.
Okay.
The Adon's freedman.
Wow.
Yahushua freed us. So
yeah.
I think it's more metaphor than it is a other thing like that.
Likewise, also he that is called, being free, is Mashiach's servant.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You want to be the servant of Yahushua.
Absolutely. Ye are brought with a price, but not ye the servants of men. You were bought at a price.
You bought the price. Do not become servants of men.
Yeah, do not become slaves of men.
So he says basically, we are Yahuwah's servants. We are not servants of.
Yeah, if you become Hasatan's servant, then you are the servant of man.
We couldn't pay for our own ransom, so Yahuwah sent his own son to become our ransom. So now we are the servants under Yahushua. We are supposed to be doing the commands of him. If we want salvation, if we want to be in his house, which we want to be, we are going to be his servants.
Brethren, let every man wherein he is called therein abide with Elohim. Now concerning virgins, I have no commandment of Yah, yet I give
from
my...
the Adon, from Yahushua.
Is that what he says?
Adon from the Yahweh.
Wow, he says Yah. He actually says Yah right there. Wow, Dr. Pigeon, man, stop doing this. Yet I give my judgment as one that has obtained mercy of Yahuwah to be faithful.
Adon.
Wow. Okay, so read your version, the correct version, please.
Okay, and concerning maidens, I have no command from the Adon, but I give judgment as one as one whom the Adon in his compassion has made trustworthy.
Yeah. Wow. That's horrible things. Okay, and then what does that mean, guys?
We gotta keep going, because he's just saying
Okay.
this is what it means for.
I suppose, therefore, that this is good for the present distress. I say that it is good for a man so to be. Are you bound unto a woman? Seek not to be loosed. Are you loosed from a woman? Seek not a woman.
So basically, it's like, stay as you are. It's best if you stay as you are. If you're already married, stay married. Don't get divorced. Don't cheat. And he says, if you are pure, if you have no relations with a woman, stay pure. Stay as you are.
And if you marry, you have not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she has not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. But I spare you. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remains that both they that have woman be as though they had none.
So basically, he's saying they're acting as infidels. They act like they have no wife. They go off and they live like the rest of the world does, where they go and cheat. They fornicate. They do as they want. They have no wife.
And NIV is like, what I mean, brothers and sisters, thank you, Brother Shaul, for telling us what you mean, is that the time is short. From now on, those who have wives should live as if they do not those who mourn. As if they do not those who mourn. Okay? As if they did not those who are happy, as if they were not those who buy something, as if it were not theirs to keep. That's like really hard to figure out. Back to Dr. Seussisms. Okay, so what is it? Anyone have it? What is your guys' say? Exactly.
It's like the same thing. He says, and this I say, brothers, that time is short. From now on, even those who have wives should be as though they had none, as those who weep, as though they did not weep, as those who rejoice, as though they did not rejoice, and those who buy, as though they did not possess, and those who use this world as not misusing it, for the scene of this world is passing away.
Okay. 31. And they that use this world are as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passes away. Jay, do you have anything on this?
No, I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about here.
All right. Yeah, those are tough things to.
He basically says those who have something but pretend like you don't.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what he means, but one thing I do know he means is he doesn't mean that we should get rid of the Torah like everyone thinks he says. Okay, 32.
I don't know if somehow you get rid of the Torah out of this, you're on something.
Yeah, well, you got to read things carefully. But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried cares for the things that belong to Yahuwah, how he may please Yahuwah. But he that is married cares for the things that are of the world, how he may please his woman. There is difference between a man and a virgin. The unmarried woman cares for the things of Yahuwah.
The Adon.
Okay, sorry guys, we're just fixing translations as we go. The unmarried woman cares for the things of Yahuwah, or Yahusha is what it should be, that she may be holy both in body and in the Ruach. But that is married cares for the things of the world, how she may please her man. And for this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon Yahuwah without distraction.
Adon.
Okay, he did it again?
Again.
Yahuwah, okay.
All Corinthians is re-edited.
Yeah, he needs to redo all of it. Okay, what do you guys have on this?
Well, basically, he's saying that stay as you are, because if you are, like, he's right, he's correct. If you're married, you're going to be handling your family, right? You're going to be focused on your family, and that's your priority. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with focusing on your family. But he's saying those who are unmarried, those who do not have a family, those who are still pure, they should be focusing on the things of Yah. They should be focusing on the kingdom.
Right. But if any man think that he behaves himself uncomely toward his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age and need so require, let him do what he will, he sins not, let them remarry. Okay,
let them remarry?
What is your pass the flower of her age? I think
pass the flower of her youth.
Pass the flower if she's old, right? Okay,
Yeah.
she passed the flower of her age. Okay, so she's old and needs so require. Okay, so if any man that behaves himself uncomely towards his wife. So if this guy's like an evil dude towards his wife?
And if anyone thinks he is behaving improperly towards his maiden, if she is past the flower of her youth, and so it should be, let him do what he desires. He does not sin, let them marry.
Yeah, and so this is like...
So he wants to marry someone older?
NIV says this, if anyone is worried that he might not be acting honorably toward the virgin he is engaged to, And if his passions are too strong, and there's a footnote there, or if she is getting beyond the usual age of marriage, and he feels he ought to marry, he should do as he wants. He is not sinning. They should get married.
Did you
say remarry?
They should get married. Yeah, let them marry. I don't know what he's talking about. And if he feels that he ought to, he should do as he wants. He is not sinning.
This is really confusing when you don't have the other half of the letter.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sure somebody said something about something of this
Like, hey,
nature.
he's marrying. They're older and they're marrying or something.
Yeah, and so if he's engaged to them,
He's gonna get married.
and she's still she's still a virgin. I think you could break that off. They could go their own way, and I think.
But it's not. But Paul says it's not sin. It's not sin. Let them marry.
Get married.
Well, and I think that's fine,
yeah,
right?
he's just saying go ahead and get married. That's not a sin. There's no sin
It's
in getting
obvious
married.
these people are Corinthians, like, hey, these people are past the age of marriage, or past like a certain age, and they're older, and they want to get married. What should we do? He's like, let them marry.
Yeah. All right. So nevertheless, he that stands steadfast in his heart, having no necessity, but has power over his own will, and has so decreed in his heart that he will guard his virgin, does well. So then he that gives her in marriage does well, but he that gives her not in marriage does better. Anyone have any ideas?
Is that talking about her father? Because he's the one who gives her to marriage?
I don't think so. Hold on. But the man who has, this is in NIV, but the man who has settled the matter in his own mind, who is under no compulsion, but has control over his own will, and who has made up his mind not to marry the virgin, this man also does the right thing. Okay, so I think he's talking about if he's for whatever reason not happy with his spouse, his bride to be.
This is talking about the dad.
Oh, this is talking about the dad?
38 is talking about the dad. So also then he, the father who gives his virgin, his daughter, in marriage does well, and he, the father who does not give her in marriage, does better.
Oh, this is talking about the father. How do we know this is even the father?
I think the NIV has like a huge footnote of like.
How do we know it's the father?
I think because he gives her in marriage.
Well, okay, if anyone thinks, or 36, if anyone thinks he is not treating his daughter properly and she's getting along in years, okay, this is about girls, okay, and he feels she ought to marry, he should do as he wants. He is not sinning. He should let her get married.
So go back to 36 then. He's talking about the father.
That's what we just read in 36.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the man who has settled the matter in his own mind, who is under no compulsion but has control over his own will, and who has made up his mind to keep the virgin unmarried, this man also does the right thing.
So basically, it's the father's choice because that's how it was supposed to be back in the day.
Yeah, it is the father's choice. So then he who gives his virgin in marriage does right, but he who does not give her in marriage does better. Okay? So I guess that's that. Your dad's in control of you as a woman, which that doesn't violate Torah or anything like that. I mean, this is still with Torah. Okay. 39?
Yep.
The woman is bound by mitzvah. What is that?
Torah.
Torah. As long as her man lives. But if her man be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in Yahuwah. So that's talking about her dad.
Only in the add-on.
That's talking about her dad.
It's not Yahuwah, it's the add-on.
Oh, right.
No,
But
it's talking about her husband.
right. No, he's talking about it says only in Yahuwah, right? It's
Only in the add-on.
translation error. Okay, so this is her dad, right?
Right.
And so when her dad is dead, she can
NIV
marry.
is talking about husband.
Yeah, it's her husband. It's
Now,
not
now,
dad.
now we're to the husband.
That's what I'm saying. It's the husband. It's not the dad anymore.
What are you talking
My
about?
and
So
third.
39 is now the husband.
So 39 is the husband?
This is like this should be broken up. It should have like little things like this part, this law, and basically this is says basically if her husband dies, she is no longer bound to him.
Right. Okay. Well, I think if we just read it slowly, it would actually say that the woman is bound by commandment, by Torah, as long as her man lives. But if her man be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in Yahuwah. So yeah, I guess the women are like under the control of the man, either the dad or the husband. But she is happier if she so abide after my judgment, and I think also that I have the Ruach Elohim. All right, so that makes a lot more sense. So what do we have here, guys, on this? To wrap up this chapter.
Basically, he just says that a wife is bound by the Torah of marriage.
Right.
If she, it's not like he's not saying there's bound like she's only she's only bound by the entire Torah if she's married. He's just specifically talking about the Torah of marriage. She is bound by the Torah of marriage if she is married.
Yep.
If she gets divorced, you don't have to run by the Torah. If she gets married, if there's some conflictions, it's all ran by the Torah. He's not saying that once the guy's dead, she's out of the Torah.
No, yeah, but she's at liberty to marry who she wants.
Right. She's no longer bound to him.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, here we go. 1 Corinthians 8. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffs up, but love edifies. And if a man think he knows anything, he knows nothing yet as he ought to know. But if any man love Elohim, the same is known of him. Okay, what quick breakdown?
So basically, he's saying there's obviously another problem with idols. He's like, concerning idols, we all know that we have knowledge. We know what's wrong with idols. We know that's wrong. He's like, and if anyone thinks they know a lot, he's like, it's like you know less than you think you know.
NIV is talking about food sacrificed to idols.
Yeah,
It's still idols. You don't want to deal with idols, anyways.
now about food sacrificed to idols. We know that we all possess knowledge, but knowledge all puffs up while love builds up. Those who think they know something do not yet know as they ought to know, but whoever loves God is known by God. Okay, we got that. 4. As concerning, therefore, the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is no other Elohim but one. For though there be that are called Elohim, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be Elohim many and Adonim many. But to us there is one Elohim, the Father, of whom all are all things, and we in him. And one Yahuwah, Yahusha.
Just add on your
Yeah,
version.
he destroyed that. This is not it. This is Dr. Stephen Pidgeon has definitely gone to the dark side for whatever reason. I don't know why, but he has. Okay, yes, and so it doesn't say that, guys. Please read verse 6 for you in the correct version.
For there is one Elohim, the Father, from whom all came and in whom we are, and one Adon Yehoshua HaMashiach, through whom all came and we through him.
From reading this, you would think that Stephen Pidgeon was a Trinitarian.
Yeah, you'd absolutely think he was a Trinitarian. He has to be a Trinitarian after all these changes. And the fact he refuses to make the changes in this, and the fact he put out his print copy with this exact same stuff.
Oh, did he put out a new one?
He put out a printed copy. The
physical
millennial edition. Yeah, he has this, and they've all been printed off.
That's terrible because you can't re-edit that and you can't update.
And
that.
everybody that bought that because we had been recommending this for years and years and years on this channel, and he went off and did this evil stuff, and now people spent the last 5 cents they had on this, and it's a bad translation. I would be upset.
He's really refunding everyone.
He should. It's very evil that he send this out like this. So 7. Howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge, for some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. But food commends us not to Elohim, for neither if we eat are we better, neither if we eat not are we worse. Okay, and we must understand that there is no such thing as pig for food.
Right,
Leviticus 11 tells us what our dietary guides are. And so this is obviously talking about, Greece sound like a very pagan place, right?
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
people
it
are...
obviously is. We know there's like a god for everything in
Yeah,
Greece. There's
absolutely.
literally a god for everything in Greece. And where they were sacrificing it, he's like, if you eat what is sacrificed to idols, you are defiled. Your conscience is weak, you are defiled. He's like, but if you eat food, it doesn't make you any worse of a human being or any better of a human being. But he was not talking about unclean foods. He was literally talking about what is food, because we know what is considered food.
And I think a lot of these people were actually buying meat that they would sacrifice to their gods, and that was a huge contention point, is that they were eating meat that was sacrificed to gods. And what he's saying is it doesn't matter, right? They're offered to an idol, and when he says their conscience being weak is defiled, people were probably saying that the meat from the idol was defiling them. And I think what he's saying is it doesn't matter if it's offered to an idol, because idol is a bunch of sticks and stones and things.
It's an inanimate object that was built by man that doesn't have any power over man.
Yep, 9. But take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours becomes a stumbling block to them that are weak. Okay, and right there, all the pig eaters will completely say this, oh, well, we could do whatever we want to eat. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter what we eat, but, he says don't let it become a stumbling block. If you're weak and you're eating pig, you're definitely weak. 10. For if any man see you, which have knowledge, sit to eat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols? And through your knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for whom Mashiach died. Okay, what does he say in 10, guys?
He's basically saying that if you know someone is eating of idols, you need to deal with it. He's like, if he's weak and he eats idols, he's going to die. He is going to die the second death, because he's doing what is a sin. You're not supposed to eat the meat of idols. He's saying,
I don't think it says that. I think
so.
You do?
Yeah, because if anyone sees you who have knowledge eating in idol's place, shall not his conscience, if he is weak, be built up to idols. So this weak brother for whom Mashiach died shall perish through your knowledge.
I think it's because I don't think he's saying I don't think he's saying that is bad. But I mean, people with weakness will see that you're eating meat from an idol and go, well, and their conscience will be all jacked up. Do we have a commandment that says don't eat meat that's offered to a god or something.
We're not supposed to do anything with idols. We're supposed to throw
Well, yeah,
idols down.
absolutely. But I mean, these guys were in a different culture where this was part of the
This
thing.
is normal.
Everybody,
Street corner.
and they offered so many meat sacrifices. There was always cheap meat for sale because they had so much meat. And so
You're probably right on that. You're probably right.
Yeah, I think it's like turning people to idols. I think it's
and I mean, I wouldn't eat any kind of meat that was sacrificed to an idol at any means. But I think this was the contention point: is that people see them eating this stuff that is to idols, and they believe it's bad. Now, if anyone out there, Brother Glenn or whoever watches this stuff, if you guys have anything different take on this, please let us know. I believe that's what he's talking about, but I don't know. I've been wrong before, especially where I called out Cade and he was right, so I don't call him out on the live YouTube anymore. Here we go. Okay, 11. And through your knowledge shall the weak brother perish for whom Mashiach died. But when ye sin so against the brethren and wound their weak conscience, ye sin against Mashiach. Wherefore, if food make my brother to offend, I will eat no flesh while the world stands, lest I make my brother to offend.
I think that's a huge Christian.
Okay, so I
verse
think
for me.
I understand. So basically, if he's eating the meat and it's from idols and it upsets your other brother,
Don't do
basically he says, I will not eat meat if it makes my
Yeah.
brother offended.
Yeah, and that is what he's saying, but he's again saying that the meat is offered to a pile of sticks, right? You're sticking it to a graven image of something, and there's no God in that. There's no Elohim there. And so that's what he is saying.
Probably because they were so new to this whole thing that they saw this and like, what are you doing with an idol's meat? Just as I was a minute ago, you shouldn't be eating
Right.
idol's meat. And it probably upset them, right? It probably made them very upset. But because he just bought the meat, I mean, if it was sacrificed to an idol, you should absolutely burn it. I mean, if it was like straight up
You
just
shouldn't burn it. You shouldn't touch it.
you should.
Shouldn't be near it.
You should like get rid of it. You should like demolish
Well,
it.
you wouldn't have it. You would have bought that because with their excess, you would have got half price meat, which would have been a great thing. And if there's who cares if it's offered to a thing in that kind of society is what I'm saying. I'm not saying we should go find like meat that's been sacrificed to something and eat it. That's just what he was fighting against, is that people are really offended, and there is no commandment that we know of. I mean, you shouldn't be anywhere near the other nations. You shouldn't be doing anything of that nature. So I think we'll leave it at that. We're about to get some heavy rains here, and so we will call this good. Thank you guys very, very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope this sheds some light on some stuff. I hope you guys are seeking our Creator where He is able to be found, and that you are keeping the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator.
All right. We'll see you
Shalom.
later. Shalom.